You're probably paying for at least 4 things on this list right now. Not because you're bad with money, because these industries are specifically designed to keep you subscribed, upgraded, and upsold without you ever noticing. And in 2026, with prices still elevated, tariffs pushing costs even higher, and AI quietly making half your software obsolete, the cost of not paying attention just went up. The average American household is bleeding money in ways that don't feel dramatic. No single line item is going to make you gasp. It's the accumulation, the $14.99 here, the $772 car payment there, the lottery ticket every Friday that quietly kills your ability to build anything real. We're going through 12 of them today. By the end, you'll know exactly where to cut. Let's start with the one that surprises people the most. The average American now spends $219 a month on subscriptions. That's $2,628 a year. And when researchers actually ask people to estimate their own subscription spending, 89% of them get it wrong, by a factor of 2.5. People think they're spending around $80 a month. They're spending more than double that. The industry counts on that gap. It's not a bug, it's the business model. Streaming is the core of it. The pitch was always simple. Ditch $100 cable. Pay $10 for Netflix. That was 2014. In 2026, the average household carries 4.5 streaming platforms at roughly $69 a month combined, and that's before you factor in the premium tiers, the add-ons, and the password-sharing crackdowns that forced millions of people to pay for accounts they used to split. Streaming services now collectively cost more than cable did. The cord cutters got rebundled. They just don't call it cable anymore. Go through your bank statement right now, not from memory, from the actual statement, and flag every recurring charge. Most people find 2 or 3 they had completely forgotten about. One forgotten subscription is $180 a year for nothing. Here's one that hits differently in January. Americans waste $1.3 billion every year on gym memberships they never use. 67% of gym members never set foot in the place after the first few weeks. The average membership runs $600 a year. Gyms are financially engineered around the assumption that you will not show up. They sell far more memberships than their floor space could ever hold because they know most members won't come. If you're actively training, that's money well spent. But if your gym card is living at the bottom of your bag collecting dust, you're paying $50 a month to feel like you have a fitness life. Cable television is almost not worth bringing up anymore, except that 77.2 million households have already cut the cord, and some of you haven't. The average cable bill hit $95 a month in 2025. And here's what makes it worse. Internal research from providers shows Americans waste $135 a month on channels they never watch. You're not even watching all of it. Pay TV revenue has collapsed from $100 billion in 2017 to $83.4 billion in 2025, and that number keeps sliding. If you still have cable, it's costing you more than $1,100 a year for maybe 6 channels you actually watch. Now let's talk about new cars, because this one is genuinely worse in 2026 than it has ever been. The average new vehicle price closed out 2025 at $50,326. The average monthly payment is $772. Auto repossessions are up 43% since 2022. And just to make sure the math really hurts, 20.3% of new car buyers in Q4 of 2025 locked themselves into payments over $1,000 a month for a car, one that loses 12.5% of its value in the first year alone. EVs are even more brutal. Some models shed 59% of their value over 5 years. Add tariffs on top of that. The 2026 trade environment pushed new car prices even higher. So the vehicle that cost $50,000 last year is edging toward $54,000 or $55,000 now, depending on where it's built and what components cross which border. A reliable 3-year-old used vehicle covers 95% of what a new car does for a fraction of the cost. The new car smell is not worth a $772 monthly payment in a high-rate environment. It never was. Annual smartphone upgrades fall into the same trap. The illusion of necessity wrapped around a luxury decision. Here's what the data actually shows. The average American now holds onto their smartphone for 3.88 years. That's a record. 42% of iPhone buyers in 2025 replaced a phone they'd owned for 3 or more years. up from 24% just 5 years earlier. People are catching on. The iPhone 17 starts at $799. Last year's model makes calls, runs every app, shoots excellent video, and costs significantly less. Annual upgrades aren't an investment. They generate 3.4 million tons of e-waste in the US every year and drain your wallet on a cycle that benefits one company's revenue targets, not your financial life. Food delivery apps as a daily habit might be the quietest wealth killer on this list, because it doesn't feel like a financial decision. It feels like dinner. The markup is staggering. Delivery apps inflate the total cost of a meal by up to 95%. DoorDash markups average 83% above menu price. Uber Eats averages 69%. A burrito that costs $7 or $8 at the restaurant hits $21 when you order through a third-party app. And the restaurant only keeps about $4 of that. You're paying the difference. Every single time. As a lifestyle habit, food delivery is one of the most effective ways to silently hollow out a monthly budget. Cooking twice a week more than you currently do and picking up orders directly instead of using the app will save most households $200 to $400 a month. Extended warranties deserve more skepticism than they get. The pitch sounds reasonable: peace of mind, protection against the unexpected. The reality is that only 1 in 10 Americans who hold an extended vehicle warranty has ever actually used it. Retailers and dealerships push warranties hard because they are among the highest margin products on the floor. The money flows one direction. If a company is that eager to sell you insurance against their own product failing, that tells you something about how often it actually pays out. Premium gasoline. Pure mythology for most drivers. As of February 2026, the price gap between regular and premium fuel is 87 cents per gallon. Consumer Reports has tested this repeatedly. For vehicles that recommend but do not require premium fuel, there is no measurable difference in performance or fuel economy. None. The word recommended on the inside of your fuel door is not a requirement. It is a suggestion, often placed there to create the impression that your car deserves better. If your vehicle does not specifically require premium, you are paying nearly $1 more per gallon for nothing. Multiply that across a year of fill-ups, and you're looking at $200 to $300 out the door for zero return. Store brands versus name brands. The premium myth extends far beyond the gas pump. Store brand products cost between 5% and 72% less per serving than name brand equivalents. Consumer Reports blind taste tests found that 76% of store brand products taste just as good as their name brand counterparts. Switching to store brands saves the average household about 25% on those grocery items. And yet 43% of Americans still reach for the name brand most of the time. For OTC medication specifically, ibuprofen, antihistamines, antacids, the active ingredients are federally regulated to be identical. You are paying for the box, the logo, and the marketing budget. The generic works the same. Lottery tickets. Americans spend $80 billion a year on them, more than they spend on cigarettes, more than on music, books, movie tickets, and video games combined. And the spending is not spread evenly. Households earning under $30,000 a year spend 13% of their annual income on lottery tickets. High earners spend about 1%. The product is marketed most aggressively to the people who can afford it least, with the promise of the one exit ramp the math says almost certainly won't come. The expected return on a lottery ticket is roughly 50 cents on the dollar. No rational investor accepts a guaranteed 50% loss going in. The lottery is a tax on hope, and it costs the most for the people with the least margin for error. Buy now, pay later platforms are the 2026 version of that same trap. Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, these started as tools for big purchases, occasional splurges. Now they're showing up in checkout flows for groceries and daily expenses. That's the tell. When a short-term debt product built for discretionary spending starts appearing next to your grocery total, something has gone wrong in the household budget. The behavioral problem with BNPL isn't always the interest rate. It's that people don't count it as debt. It doesn't feel like a credit card balance. Feels like spreading out an expense. But spreading out a grocery bill across 4 payments means you were already short on cash for that grocery bill. The product papers over the problem without solving it. And the last one is the freshest angle on this list. AI has made a specific category of software subscriptions largely obsolete, and millions of people are still paying for them. Grammarly charges $12 to $30 a month for writing assistants that ChatGPT, Claude, and similar tools now handle for free or near free. Stock photo platforms charge $30 to $50 a month for images AI can now generate in seconds. Language learning apps at $70 a year for instruction that AI tutors replicate with better personalization. Some Adobe tools for basic editing and content generation have direct AI native alternatives at a fraction of the cost. The category of AI replaceable software subscriptions is real. It's growing fast, and most people haven't looked at it closely. If you're paying a monthly fee for a tool that mainly produces text, images, or simple content outputs, there's a very good chance something in the AI stack already does it better and cheaper. Here's what ties all 12 together. None of these feel like emergencies. None of them will show up on a credit report or get you a call from a collections agency. They're the slow drain, spending that runs in the background, structured to make friction the enemy of cancellation. The average American household is leaving somewhere between $4,000 and $7,000 a year on the table across these categories. Not because they're reckless, because the systems charging them are designed to stay invisible. So tell me in the comments, which one on this list hit closest to home for you? Which one are you cutting first? If this made you rethink even one line item, hit the like button and send it to someone you know is paying for half of these. And make sure you're subscribed, because next week we're getting into exactly where that reclaimed money should actually go, and the answer is probably not what you're expecting. The wealthiest people you'll ever meet are not necessarily the highest earners. They are the ones who stopped funding industries designed to work against them.